What is up, friends? Welcome to the Optimus Fantasy Football channel here on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. It's week 14, Kacey.
Yes.
You know what that means. It's almost the fantasy football playoffs. We are right on the cusp. This is your last week. If you're on the fringe of making it or not making it, you've got some decisions to make in your lineup. You've got to win this week if you want to get in. And we're here to help you do that. One of the ways we can help you do that is our Discord channel. Make sure you check that out. The link is in the show description. We're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to answer your questions. So hop on in. It's a great community. It's growing, and we'd love to have you all there. But Kacey, let's go ahead and get into it here because we've got a lot to talk about on this week 14 slate.
Yep.
Unfortunately, one of those things is benching Lamar Jackson. Wah, wah. I know. It's not a fun conversation. I did get to talk about this a little bit on the radio last night with Bob and Mike on Sirius XM channel 87.
Right. Hey.
Yeah, check
it.
those guys out, man.
Yeah, they're
Eastern Standard Time, 7 days a week. They're going to be on there. Great advice. But here's the thing: is that Lamar Jackson has been terrible the last 3 weeks. 6.7, 7.2, and 7.5 fantasy points. If the scores weren't enough, 3 interceptions, 2 lost fumbles, then 1 fumble that was recovered by Baltimore. He's just not protecting the ball, Kacey. He's quarterback 15 right now overall in the season in fantasy points per game. But since returning from his injury, QB 30 in fantasy points per game. He had 25.6 fantasy points in his return game. Outside of that, it's been bad. We're at a point now where you have to really question, like, what's going on here? Is he healthy? Because he doesn't look right.
I don't think he's
and then they've got Pittsburgh this week, who historically he's 2-4 starting against Pittsburgh. Yep. He's got 8 touchdowns, 9 turnovers, and he has not been allowed a rushing touchdown by the Steelers defense. So where are you at with Lamar this week? I'm not saying this is the rest of season. Like, we're not talking about dropping him.
Right.
I've seen people say they should drop him, but
no,
are you benching Lamar this week?
I am. If in 2 quarterback leagues, I'm probably starting him. But my 1 quarterback leagues, and even then, I got to look at it. But more than likely, I am sitting Lamar Jackson this week just because the playoffs, all that stuff is coming up. I'm not risking it. I'm one of those people that would rather play it safe. Do I have somebody on my bench that I know can get me like 17 points? I'll take that person.
Yep. Tyrod Taylor is someone I floated last night that I would start potentially over. But Tyrod Taylor has really good matchups the rest of the way. And I really do think he's a viable play, Kacey. I mean, we know he's going to start, right? He had 22 points against Atlanta. Then he's got Miami, Jacksonville, New Orleans. The only one that concerns me is New England in the fantasy championship. You can put him back on your bench then. Yeah. Right now on Sleeper, he's 14% rostered. He's an easy grab. It's not sexy, but also might be getting Garrett Wilson back next week. So that could be big for Tyrod as well. Yeah, it could be huge. So do you think Lamar recovers this season, Kacey? Like, is this a situation where maybe a couple more games by week 16, 17, he's back to being startable? Or are you concerned that this injury is going to linger and we're just not going to get full on Lamar rest of the season?
That is the thing that I am concerned about, is that he's not going to get, this is what we're going to have from him, and he's not going to be able to fully get back to that health because he's out there pushing himself. I get it. You want to be out there. I get they want him out there, but at the same point, like, it's not been good. So yeah, I'm going to worry. He's one of those guys that can get it back together. I know this sounds also like a cop-out. I'd like to see it not in the playoffs, and guess what? You're going to have to rely on that in the playoffs. So I'm a lot worried.
Yeah, I am too. And the assets around him as well. Zay Flowers, he's wide receiver 36. He had negative 0.4 fantasy points last week. If you started him, he was literally a detriment. Just not something that you want. Mark Andrews just signed the new contract.
He did?
He did. He signed a 3-year extension.
3 years.
3-year extension. Yeah, pretty big deal. Especially in a world where we thought Isaiah Likely was about to get handed, the starting role in a season or two.
He fumbled in the last game.
And it's not happening.
Yeah.
Andrews has been concerning this season. Last 2 weeks, I mean, he's been below 10 fantasy points. He had a over 10 fantasy point performance against Cleveland, but that doesn't seem to be the norm with him. If Lamar Jackson continues down this road, does Mark Andrews become someone that you're looking at benching as well?
Yeah, unfortunately, kind of one of those guys is tied to the other. So, yeah, unfortunately, because it's been so kind of up and down for us this season, it's more down than up than we'd like to see from Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be comfortable with if I had a better option, in my opinion, then yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm starting guys like Harold Fannin over him. I know maybe that sounds a little extreme, but Fannin's been considerably better,
Yeah,
right?
and
He's
I take
tight end,
Saints too and situate. I mean, I'm playoff brain city right now.
right? Well, and that's what we have to be. Like, we got to be ready for the
Monster.
playoffs here. They're just about to fire up.
Ooh.
All right, Kacey, we're
Yep.
going to move on to our next topic. But first, I want to remind everyone we've got a lot going on at tools.optimusfantasy.com. We've got DFS optimizers, we've got betting optimizers, league managers, and all of the data you could ever want. Plus, we've got a browser extension that puts all that at your fingertips when you're in your league home pages, guys. So make sure you head on over. And with the promo code GIFTOptimus, you can get the rest of the NFL season free all the way through February 10th. So make sure you check it out with that promo code GIFTOptimus here. All right, Kacey, we've been talking a lot about playoffs.
Yep.
Playoff returns. We've got some players coming back. Some really good news for a lot of managers. The first one, Mike Evans, is going to be back maybe this week, possibly not until next week. He recovered faster than they thought from this broken collarbone. His practice window is open, and he's only rostered right now in 58% of leagues. A lot of people thinking he wasn't going to be coming back. Do you think he'll be effective on his return? And he's someone you should be grabbing if he's available on your waiver wire?
I do think he is going to be effective when he comes back because he was seeing the targets prior to being injured, 9-ish targets, a game. And I mean, it's Mike Evans. 1,000-yard plus Mike Evans, I'm not going to fault him for the injuries. Broken collarbone. Nate is quiet.
The fact he's coming back this quick is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fire him up in this offense. Are you
Mhm.
kidding? I mean, that's really, we've got Buck Irving back. So their rushing ability is back, right?
Mhm.
So that's a little bit more scary for defenses, which is going to take them off of the run, right?
Mhm.
They can't you can't run out 5 cornerback coverage where you're blanketing every receiver knowing that they're not going to be able to really run the ball. So
Right.
I think this is all around good for Evans. I think it's good for Emeka Egbuka, and I think it's good for Chris Godwin too. I think all three can survive here. The one I don't love is Kate Otten. I think this is going to hurt him.
Yeah,
immensely.
I think,
Yeah.
And then,
Which-
Baker's banged up, so just that's something worth monitoring too. Not that that really concerns me too much for Mike Evans, but
No, it doesn't concern me at all. If anything, Mike Evans coming back gives me more confidence in Baker. Give him another weapon. He can get rid of the ball quicker, avoid some of those hits, and heal up. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to getting Mike Evans back.
Yeah, let's
Dalton
get him.
Kincaid, another one over in Buffalo, the tight end. I'm looking forward to getting him back
Yep.
too. He practiced on Wednesday. He's missed 3 games with a hamstring injury, but he's back. They face the Bengals this week, Kacey, which we'll talk about this game a little bit later as well. They've given up 13 touchdowns to tight ends, and we've seen when Dalton Kincaid is healthy, he's basically the wide receiver one in this Bills offense. Rest of season, now that he's healthy, where do you slot him in as a tight end? I mean, is it a top 5 guy, top 10 guy? Where do you have him?
No, I'm going to put him in the top 5 category. Just going to throw it out there because I really, like you said, he's going to be that guy in the offense once he returns. He was seeing the targets. He was seeing the yards per target. Yeah. I think you can depend on him a lot more than a lot of guys that are out there right now. So if you have him, yay.
I do too. Well, Buffalo needs this back so bad for their offense. The issues they've had with Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir's looked a little bit banged up. Dawson Knox isn't getting it done. So, looking forward to getting Kincaid back. Jaden Reed over in Green Bay is going to be back. Kacey, I don't know how much I care about this one. He's been practicing in a limited capacity and is expected to return this week against the Bears. He was averaging 15 yards per reception before he had a collarbone and foot injury. But this Green Bay offense, I don't trust anything in this offense when it comes to wide receivers. Maybe Dontavian Wicks. I'll flex him because I do think he is the best receiver on this team. But outside of that, like, I'm not excited about Jaden Reed. He's too gadgety and it's too boom bust, much like how I feel about Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, he is so boom and bust, and that's how the majority of it goes down when you're playing these receivers from Green Bay, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not really trusting him too much. If you need that guy, that desperation flex guy that you like can get me that boom game, he's one that, like, if he's what's available, then I would put him in and just hope.
I mean, there are worse options available. Would you start Jaden Reed or John Mechie?
Jaden Reed, I think.
Jaden Reed or Adonai Mitchell?
Mitchell.
Jaden Reed or Alec Pierce?
Pierce.
All right. Yeah, that's kind of where I have it. Like, there are guys I'd probably start him over Xavier Worthy. I think there's more upside in the Green Bay offense for him. They don't have a Rashee Rice, but
Christian Watson. How do you feel about him? Because he's been intriguing lately.
He is intriguing, but he's been intriguing before.
Right.
Right?
He's another one of those guys, like we've said, with all of these guys that are wide receivers.
I'm just afraid it's going to go away, right? Because it had 4 targets in weeks 8, 9, and 10, bumps up to 5 in week 11, 7 in week 12, 10 in week 13 against Detroit. Then they've got Chicago, Denver, Chicago. I mean, okay, show it to me this week. If he maintains that target share and that snap share this week, I'll buy into him for the fantasy playoffs, but I need it one more time. Okay. Otherwise, I have no interest.
I was just wondering because I was like, I know I have him at least on some dynasty rosters, and I'm like trying to figure out, and it stinks.
The Green Bay receiving core stinks for fantasy. It's an impossible situation with
pick and choose your fighter.
So I think it would be more fun if they had a better quarterback. Just saying, all right. Omari and Hampton, the rookie running back, is back for the Los Angeles Chargers. Practice window is open. He's expected back on Monday night to face off against the Eagles. He was averaging 15.4 fantasy points per game prior to being injured, that ankle injury that sidelined him. This is great. He was fantastic, but we've seen Kamani Vidal carve out a role that's kind of hard to ignore in this offense.
Right.
What are your expectations for Hampton coming back? Like, do you think this is going to be more of a committee? Do you think he's maybe going to be on a pitch count because they can with Vidal?
Honestly, what I'd like to see and what I would like to lean towards happening is it being a committee that's actually where they both have standalone value. If you know what I mean. Like, I know that's like it doesn't happen that often, but I'd like to, it might help hurt one or the other, but I'd like to see them at least contribute enough that you're going to feel good starting both of them for fantasy.
And I think that's entirely possible. Kamani Vidal, though we haven't seen it since Hampton got injured, very good in the passing game. We did see that last season. And you can't ignore what he's done. I mean, 18 carries for 124 yards against Miami. Then he had 23 for 117 and a touchdown against Minnesota, 25 for 95 and a touchdown against Pittsburgh. And last week, 25 for 126 and a touchdown against Las Vegas. And yes, these aren't great defenses, but it doesn't really matter. They've got Philly, Kansas City, Dallas, and Houston coming up. You're not probably starting either one of the, well, you might start Hampton in week 17. You're not starting Vidal against Houston. But the rest of these matchups, I think they could very well both be viable, especially with Justin Herbert banged up. Because that's a concern. I mean, he just had surgery on his hand. And we're going to talk more about Herbert later as well. Right, T. Higgins, someone else who was banged up, concussion protocol. He was limited in practice on Wednesday, but he has a chance to clear concussion protocol this week. His return would be the healthiest the Bengals have been this season. Joe Burrow's back. Jamar Chase is back. Chase Brown is playing well. With the return of T. Higgins, what are you expecting out of him in this Joe Burrow offense rest of season? Is it kind of what we pegged him as, which was like a back-end wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2? Or are you expecting there to be a little bit of a dip?
No, I'm going to go into it looking at him like a low-end wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2. I mean, now that they're back and healthy, like finally this offense will start looking exactly what we were hoping for. I know Burrow starts the season off slow anyway, so now we've got him back. I think that you can go into it being confident with him, and I don't think that he's going to lose a step. Fingers crossed.
Well, and like anybody who was worried, because I was worried that Burrow was going to be kind of brought into the fold slowly. Maybe they were going to lean on Chase Brown a lot more, not going to have him throw as much. Yeah, 46 attempts last week. That's not bringing him in slowly. So I expect similar 46 to 50 attempts against
Great.
a Buffalo team that also can't run the ball, which makes Chase Brown an intriguing start this week as well, because he's really been playing a lot better, Casey.
He has. And it's one of those things I think people are not paying as much attention to as they should be, but he has been.
Yeah, look, over the last 3 weeks, 18 carries, 19 carries, and 15 carries. Those are all season highs, barring week 1 in Cleveland, where he had 21 carries. 70 plus yards in all 3 of those games. And without a touchdown, he was still fantasy relevant. Like, he was a mid RB2 in all 3 of those games. I like Chase Brown rest of season. I have been a big no on Chase Brown, but things are changing. I don't know if this line's getting better, or if just now that you've got Burrow back, teams have to respect the pass so much that it's just going to open things up for him, which we saw happen when Flacco was starting as well.
Yeah.
It's an interesting situation in Cincinnati. I want to see what this team can do, because if they can creep up and they can get to 9-8, they're probably a playoff team. And I would be very interested to see what they could do with the healthy offense in the playoffs. Team that's not making the playoffs, but they are hopefully getting their star wide receiver back, Drake London, the Atlanta Falcons. He's missed the last 2 games with a PCL injury. Team saying he has a shot to return this season. Him and Bijan Robinson, probably the only bright spots in this offense. Tyler Algier is a possible flex. What are your expectations for London coming back, though? With Kirk Cousins, a bad offense, but does London get hyper targeted? Like, are we seeing 10 to 15 targets a game for him rest of season?
You know, I wish they would just keep him out, but what you're going to do? If he comes back, I think that they do target him, hyper target him. And so that's good for fantasy purposes. I'm not really sure for real purposes I want him out there right now, but he's going to be that guy, I think, that they're going to have to rely on. If he's healthy and you have Drake London out there, you hyper target him, please.
Well, yeah, they absolutely have to. He has been so good despite just absolute crap quarterback play. Trash. Like, look at what he did with Michael Penix. I mean, he had games of 16 and 14 and 15 targets with Michael Penix. Yeah, so you get London back. He's going to score 15 plus fantasy points as long as he's healthy. You want him in your lineups coming back. All right, last one, Kacey. Trey Benson, the running back over in Arizona. You might have forgotten he existed. With all the craziness in Arizona. Well, not you, but just
I'm not holding on to him. I'm just hoping and praying. Jesus.
Yep. Well, his 21-day practice window opened in week 12, so we're kind of getting to the back end of it here. Sounds like they're expecting him back either this week, but more likely week 15. It's really not looking like, I know they're saying that he might play. It's not looking like he's going to play at all. So Trey Benson, though, coming back for this Arizona offense, I think there's some couple of layers to this, because Amari DiMercato kind of popped, then faded away, then got hurt. Bam Knight's been up and down. When he's up, he's really up. When he's down, he's really down. But this offense has had to rely so much on Jacoby Brissett because of that. Getting Trey Benson back, does this help everyone in this offense? Jacoby Brissett, Marvin Harrison, if he plays?
Yeah, I mean, if Trey Benson comes back and looks decent to what we want him to look like, then, I think it does help everybody out. I am concerned that he's been out just about a big portion of the season. So, it does help, but I don't know how much it really helps all around for fantasy purposes. Like most of those guys, like the running back situation there, I haven't been starting most of those, any of those guys. So,
yeah, well, look, before he got hurt, 8 carries for 69 yards, 3 carries for 14 yards in week 2 against Carolina, 10 carries for 42 yards against San Francisco, 8 carries for 35 yards against Seattle. Where he's effective, though, hopefully he can at least help them in the passing game a little bit, which that will be really good for Jacoby Brissett.
That would be very helpful.
And oddly enough, I don't think it hurts any of the current receivers.
I don't think that's going to hurt receivers.
Marvin Harrison, like this is starting to turn into I don't know that we're going to see much of him rest of season. He keeps getting dinged up.
Ding ding.
This heel thing sounds like it could be somewhat serious. Doesn't sound like he's playing this week. I don't have him in my rankings. I'm assuming he's not playing. But like Michael Wilson playing really freaking well. That's not going to fade. Trey McBride's going to get his volume, but if Benson can get 5 to 7 targets a game, add into that, maybe get 30 or 40 yards receiving, throw a touchdown in there, maybe once or twice rest of season, he becomes a decent flex option, I think, rest of season. But I need to see it the first week.
I know.
This is a fantasy playoffs.
I'm not. I know. I'm right now. I have him for one of the leagues that I am in the playoffs, and I'm like, man, my flex has been hurting, but I'm, still debating.
Yep. Yep. All right. Well, let's move on, Kacey, to the fantasy playoff panic meter. We've got some players that are fairly concerning. One we've already mentioned, Justin Herbert. Right now, Kacey, he is QB 27 in points per game. This is since week 10, as it will be with all of these players. He's not playing well. Now he's got a broken hand. He just had surgery. In one QB leagues, like I'm bordering on, I can't start him. I have to find someone else to roll out. In 2 QB leagues, though, I mean, is he worth the risk?
Again, I got to see what I'm working with here. Is he worth the risk in 2 quarterback leagues? Sure, he's worth the risk because I'm not sure you have anybody better to play. If you do,
that's fair.
That's going to be an opinion thing on me. I probably have Justin Herbert as being like a decent quarterback. I don't see him being Justin Herbert-esque, but viable.
He's very much like with Lamar Jackson, where there's something not right. And now we know he's got a broken left hand that he just had plates put in. I'm with you. I think he's better than QB 27. I'm not starting him in 1 QB leagues. In 1 QB leagues, there should be plenty of options for you to pivot to. But in super flex 2 QB, I'll roll him out still. I think he slots in somewhere like QB like 18 to 20 rest of season for me is where I feel like he's at. And they don't need him to be more, especially with Amari Hampton coming back. Like, why push it? There's no reason to. Sam Darnold, he was MVP. There was MVP chatter around Darnold early on in the season. That's faded. He's QB 34 in fantasy points per game since week 10, 8.7. And Kacey, this slide's concerning because there's no, you could kind of slough off week 10 against Arizona. They didn't need him to do anything. He only had 12 attempts. It was fine, right? It's like, the script dictated, we got screwed as fantasy managers. But then 29 to 44, throws 4 interceptions, does not throw a touchdown against the Rams in week 11. It has kind of fallen off the rails since then. 26 attempts in the last 2 games, 16 and 14 completions. He had 2 touchdowns against Tennessee, but they didn't get a touchdown against Minnesota. An offensive, they won, but Sam Darnold didn't get a touchdown. Kacey, he had 1 fantasy point.
Believe me, I was playing against somebody that started him in a 1 quarterback league, which I do not suggest doing. Don't go against me, but also I do not suggest starting Sam Darnold. You can't.
You can't. You can't. He's been atrocious, and we're seeing who Sam Darnold really is. I said on the radio last night, I'll roll him out in 2 QB leagues. 1 more week. This is a week. If he can't get it done against Atlanta, I don't know. I think it's over for him. Seattle maybe didn't find their new quarterback, and they needed to lose more games so they could find one in the draft. They got Jalen Milroe. They're going to be fine. Now we're going to move to an Eagles player, Saquon Barkley. A lot of chatter about what to do with him lately. He's running back 34 since week 10, 8.9 half PPR fantasy points per game for Barkley. We keep waiting for something to change here, right? This Philly offense is atrocious. They don't look like they've looked in years past. And Saquon Barkley looks like a shadow of who he was last season. Now, I don't think this is a Saquon problem. I think this is a Philly offense problem. And that concerns me the rest of the way. 10 carries and 13 carries the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But this has got to change, right? Like, we can't fully panic on Saquon yet. This is a team that can make the playoffs. They can get a higher seed. They're not going to they could actually, there's a world in which they could get a first round bye, honestly. I mean, they're 1 game behind Chicago. still very much in the thick of things, but if they're going to be, they've got to get Saquon going, which is why I'm not panicked on him. How do you feel?
Yeah, if they're down, like he's not seeing the work when they're down, they're throwing it, they're not using him. The end zone work is not there. So like if he's not scoring touchdowns, it is like, well, you're not getting the yardage and you're not getting the touchdowns. What are you doing for me? But I think they can get it back on track. They have to use him to get it back on track.
It's the only way they can do it, because Jalen Hurts isn't like, I'm not going to dunk on his arm. Like, we've had plenty of people dunk on Jalen Hurts' throwing ability. I'm not going to do that. He's an NFL level quarterback who's won MVPs and has been very successful. Mm-hmm. So, but I am going to say that this passing attack in general is not good enough to live on its own, period. Whatever reason you want to ascribe that to, that's on you, not on me. All right. But in order for it to work, and we have seen this every season that Philly has been good, they've had to be able to run the ball. Some years it's been through committees with guys like Boston Scott. The last 2 seasons it's been with Saquon Barkley. They have to get this going, and I believe they will. So I'm not panicked on him. Jordan Mason, though, Minnesota's so bad. Running back 47, 5.9 fantasy points per game. This is a guy we were drafting. Well, not when I say we, I mean as a community, not me, not you. But we're drafting this guy as a borderline RB1 at points because of the perceived volume and how good McCarthy was going to be for this offense. What we've seen is the total opposite. And there's another player we'll talk about here in a minute on this offense. But Jordan Mason is droppable. I don't see this changing. Yeah, they got Aaron Jones back. Aaron Jones hasn't even really been that good. This team, just the offense isn't going. They don't have a quarterback. Their weapons are underutilized. I'm dropping Jordan Mason. I think you kind of have to. Use the roster slot on someone else.
The Aaron Jones situation is disappointing for people that have Aaron Jones. He left with the shoulder injury. He fumbled. He's been doing things where it's kind of like you were saying, he hasn't been playing exactly like what you expect. Yeah. Jordan Mason, I'm at the point where you're probably going to, there's nobody to drop on your roster but Jordan Mason if you need to pick somebody up.
Yep.
There's nobody else
those
probably.
Guys. I'm gonna dude, Aaron Jones is in that territory for me too.
I know.
And it's sad.
But
like I almost like sentimentally just can't drop him.
Yeah.
And to my detriment, I probably should. Wow. All right. Wide receivers, we're worried about. Rome Odunze. He's wide receiver 41 since week 10. He's averaging 7.8 fantasy points per game. Chicago's good. Chicago's really good. Chicago is the best team in the NFC right now.
Right on.
Rome Odunze is seeing plenty of volume. He has 10, 6, 9, and 6 targets in his last 4 games. That's not the problem. The problem is he's not catching the damn ball.
Right.
He's got 1 touchdown since week 10. That was in week 10 against the Giants when he had 20 fantasy points. Since then, he has been below 10 fantasy points. Last week against Philly, he was below 5. 2, 3, and 2 catches in those games. He had 8 receiving yards last week on 2 catches. 8. Look, at this point now, I'm not starting Rome Odunze. I'm not interested in it. Green Bay is a decent enough defense. I think they're going to get at Caleb Williams, and we're going to watch a lot of Kyle Monangai, DeAndre Swift, Colston Loveland, and Cole Kmet, and DJ Moore. I think Rome Odunze is just kind of, left out here.
Left out. Sorry. Next year will be a year for, but next year will be a year. Yeah, he's just one of those guys where I'm like, he's one of those guys where I'm debating, like, am I putting him in my flex or like a handful of other guys? And more oftentimes than not, I'm leaving him on the bench and putting somebody else that I never thought I'd be putting in my flex. So,
right. Yeah. Guys like Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah.
And John Mechie.
Hey.
And Alec Pierce. Justin Jefferson. Kacey.
Yeah.
He's wide receiver 63.
Everybody pour one out for Justin Jefferson.
You can't drop him, of course.
No.
And he'll have some boom games. He's had some boom games with McCarthy. But how much better is it really going to get for Jefferson? In this offense, it's either Max Brosmer or it's JJ McCarthy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah. I'm not. Am I saying I'm not starting Justin Jefferson? Am I going to go that far to saying I'm not starting Justin Jefferson? It depends on where I'm ranked currently in my fantasy football schedule. Like, am I? And do I have something locked up? Like, okay, and then maybe it's hard to put him in there.
Oh, at this point, it could, or they could go to Desmond Ritter.
I mean,
this is a big deal, guys. Real quick, Lamar not seen at practice on Thursday after practicing yesterday. So note, we just talked about benching Lamar. I would 1,000% now.
Yeah, firmly on my bench. Man, put him on your bench.
Yeah. I think you have to. Right. Same with Justin Jefferson. Look, he's tied with Detroit wide receiver. You ready for this one? Tom Kennedy.
Huge wide receiver pickup this week.
Go get Tom Kennedy and start him. No, I'm not.
No.
But you know what? You might get the same output out of Tom Kennedy
that you're
going to get out of Justin Jefferson. Rest of season. So they've got Washington this week. I wouldn't be starting him against Washington. Then they're at Dallas and then at the New York Giants at MetLife. Those are matchups where I'd probably risk it with him. I think that there's a good chance that he can go off in those games. Yeah. Week 17 for the fantasy championships against Detroit. Oh, that is scary for me. I know their secondary isn't great, but they can get at the quarterback. And if you get at McCarthy, he's going to screw it up. And I just worry that Jefferson could see 15 targets and 4 of them were catchable. That's the problem.
We're always like, I know. Quarterback proof. Always said that about Justin Jefferson. Well, quarterback proof to a point. He needs to be able to have the ball thrown in his area correctly.
Okay. They're calling it an ankle injury for Lamar. So different than what he suffered before. Okay. So yeah, not a good sign. Not a good sign at all.
I'd like to see it.
Well, and with that, we're going to move to Mark Andrews. He's tight end 13, so he's outside the top 12. Tight end, such a thin position, a guy that we were drafting very highly. We've seen him bounce back and forth. Do you see him getting any higher than tight end 13, Kacey? Rest of season?
I think he's about that the rest of season. So I'd like to say yes with that extension, but no, the consistency has been so up and down that I'm not sure that he can level out to where he's,
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Mark Andrews or Dalton Schultz rest of the way?
Dalton Schultz.
Let's see. Mark Andrews or Brenton Strange rest of the way?
Brenton Strange.
Mark Andrews or Harold Fannin rest of the way?
Harold Fannin.
Okay. Here, last one. Mark Andrews or Kyle Pitts rest of the way?
Lord have mercy. Can I 1A, 1B? Mark Andrews.
Barely Mark Andrews. Barely. We might.
All those guys
here's what I will say though. If we get Tyler Huntley, I mean, we might get some big Mark Andrews games.
Okay, and so keep that in mind.
Yeah, keep that in mind. He becomes a little bit more startable, and I think Isaiah likely becomes flexible in those situations too. Yeah. So last one, Dallas Goedert over in Philly. We have some news that will affect this conversation as well. He's tied in 33 right now, Kacey, in fantasy points per game since week 10 with 4.1. It hasn't been good, but this news dropping here. Jalen Carter, the second-year All-Pro defensive lineman for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's having a procedure on both of his shoulders today. He'll be out for week 14. No reports past that, just that he's going to be out for week 14. We saw what happened last time Jalen Carter wasn't in the lineup. The spitting incident, he got ejected, missed the entirety of the game, and Philly got run all over. So Dallas Goedert maybe becomes a little bit more attractive this week because all of a sudden I'm looking at this Monday night game against Los Angeles and I'm like, oh, buddy. Oh, yeah. Omari and Hampton, Kamani Vidal, they could both have 100 yards against this defense without Jalen Carter on the line. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Oh, man. That is going to really rock some fantasy football lineups
It's a big
this week.
it's a
Woo!
big deal. And if he misses extended time, yeah, that's bad news for Philly. Good. I hope they miss the playoffs. That's what you get for throwing batteries at Santa, jerks. Yeah, but Dallas Goedert becomes more interesting to me in this situation because I think they're gonna have to throw more.
He's gonna have to see more receiving yards. Duh.
Yep.
Touchdown maybe. Let's
Just
go.
in general, could we get him some more freaking yards?
Yeah, because like
stop throwing to Jahan Dotson.
he's not.
For
Yeah,
the love of God.
it's Goddard. Let's get him a little bit more because we know what he can do. Let's go.
Yeah,
We've seen
we
it
do.
this year.
Yep. Hey guys, if you have questions about any of these players that we have talked about or other questions about your rosters heading into the fantasy playoffs, DFS questions, you need some prop bets, NFL or NBA, head on over to our Discord server. The link's in the show description. We're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And we've got a buzzing community over there. We'd love to have you a part of it. So head on over. The link is in the show description on Discord, folks. It's always free. That's the best part. Woohoo. Just have at it. All right. We're going to get to our best and worst of week 14. Yeah, we didn't overlap again. So this is good news. Let's start with your best. It's a homer pick, but this was on my list as one of the best games for this week.
Yeah, I said it when I wrote it down. I said this is a homer pick, but it's not. It was really. I looked at it. I had a handful of games that I was debating between, including the one that you picked, and I went with Cowboys at Lions. Obviously, I am a Cowboys fan, so first and foremost. Plus, I need my boys to show up for my fantasy playoffs, so I need some George Pickens action. So yes, it's more exciting for me than anything, but also I just want to see, I want to see what the Cowboys 1-2 punch at wide receiver can do against the Lions. You had brought it up that they were a little rough.
Their secondary is wonky.
So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah,
but both sides, I'd like to see what happens on both sides of the ball. For fantasy purposes, I think this is a good one.
The over-under on this game's insane. 54.5 on ESPN bet, which is fun times. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm looking. I think this would be a good game tonight. Amon-Ra St. Brown is questionable. This has been a hot topic across all sorts of fantasy channels today. Just listen to Heath Cummings and Dave Richard and Jamie Eisenberg talk about this on CBS. What are you doing if he doesn't play tonight? Like, are you willing to hold off, hope he plays, cross your fingers, rock him into your lineup? Or do you have plans already in place? Like, are you pivoting to someone like Isaac Tesla? Possibly.
Sadly, I'm not in that situation with Amon-Ra where I have him anywhere, which sucks. But at the same time, I was like, oh, that's why I haven't been sweating this question because I don't have to worry about it anywhere. Tesla. Let's go with, I think he's a solid pivot. The issue is, like, I always like to play those guys in my flex. And if he plays on Thursday nights, I don't like to put my flex player. So that's where
and that's a fair point. Something to consider.
But is that going to really make it or break it for me? No. So
what's interesting about Tesla to me is that if we're short Amon-Ra St. Brown, we're already missing Sam Laporta, and Brock Wright, the other receiving tight end, is hurt as well. Carly Manger and I were having a conversation about this a little bit earlier today, where maybe we see some volume go to David Montgomery. I'm more of the belief that probably won't happen. I feel like they're ramping his roll down, but it's also entirely possible. Like, I don't know everything. I'm just,
right. I don't either.
We've just seen his roll decrease, but depending on which direction this game goes, I could see him getting some work. And speaking of Carly, make sure you head on over to news.optimusfantasy.com on Blue Sky. She has all of the up-to-the-minute NFL fantasy relevant news for you. She is dropping it as it breaks. That's where we got that lovely Jalen Carter news before anyone else was telling you about it on Blue Sky. So make sure you check that account out right now. It's a fantastic one. All right, Kacey, we're going to move on to our final segment, On the Spot, for week 14.
Wait.
Whoa.
We only went over one game.
Oh, we did only go over one game. I got so excited. That's right.
I thought I would. I thought I started my vacation.
No, I'm losing. I'm losing my mind here. My best game's Bengals-Bills. I think this is going to be an absolute shootout, and I am thrilled. I think it's going to be a great game.
Yep.
I just hope this can, because the Bills defense can't stop the run. The Bengals defense can't stop anything. I'm really, really hoping this can be a Josh Allen get-right game for a couple of reasons. One, I just like the guy. I root for him. But second of all, I have him as my starting quarterback in a lot of very important matchups this weekend, specifically the Huddle League with a bunch of people that I really want to beat. Not because I don't like them, because I love them so much.
Yeah.
But I think this will be a good game. I think we're gonna get a lot of big fantasy point totals out of players here. This is a big James Cook game. This will be a very big James Cook game, which is also good for me. So I'll take it. All right, Kacey, your worst of the week. I almost picked this one, but yeah.
Yeah. And the same for your worst. So I almost picked Titans at Browns. I just, unless I have fantasy relevant players in either of those games, which I'm not sure that I do for any teams that I'm actually doing anything, obviously. I'm not doing well for a reason in those leagues. So like if I have Jerry Jeudy, yay. But no, I'm not looking forward to watching that because I don't think it's going to be an entertaining contest.
Oh no. Well, the over-under on it's 33.5 points. It is the lowest over-under total by, almost 7 points on the slate this week. So they're not expecting anything in this game. Cleveland is favored by 4.5. And just quick note about Cleveland. Deshaun Watson, they opened the practice window for him yesterday. So there's a chance we see Deshaun Watson take over at quarterback.
And I'm slamming it shut. No.
Well, you know what, though? Look, I'm fine with the Browns failing. And if Deshaun Watson continues to fail and look awful, like if we can point and laugh, I'm here.
Shouldn't have got rid of Baker. See, this is what happens. It's a curse. All right.
Yeah, it's like the curse of the Bambino, but football. Yeah. My worst game, Steelers-Ravens. I mean, we've got now, especially if Lamar Jackson doesn't play. Obviously, we have no idea which way that's trending right now. But if he doesn't play, what is there even to Tyler Huntley versus Aaron Rodgers or Mason Rudolph?
Yeah.
No, unexciting.
Kickers maybe.
Hey,
maybe.
Look, if you take kickers, yeah, this is a game for you. The over/under on this one's 42.5. Baltimore's favored by 6. That obviously changes if we go to Tyler Huntley, though I still think Baltimore remains favored. Just my guess. Who knows? Well, we'll find out because I'm going to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
I'll watch them all.
Watch them.
I can't help it. And it's supposed to be crappy and snowy on Sunday, so even better reason to just kind of cuddle up.
That's fun. Right? Yeah. Won't be like that here.
Yep. All right, guys. On the spot for week 14. I haven't even I just started thinking about this. I've been trying to make it more fresh
on the spot.
And on the spot. Literally on the spot. All right, Kacey. Who is your rest of season fantasy football MVP?
Rest of season fantasy football MVP. Oh, Jesus. Am I going to be a homer? I was going to go George Pickens or Jonathan Taylor. But since I went, I'm going to go George Pickens.
Look,
I
love George Pickens. There's been oddly Denver sports radio has been talking a lot about George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. Part of it because Pickens is up for a contract at the end of the season, and our dumb freaking sports talking heads here like, oh, the Broncos should go sign George Pickens. Yeah, sure, they can't afford him though. That's not going to happen. He's probably staying in Dallas. But yeah, he's been better than CeeDee Lamb. Like this is exactly who we thought George Pickens could be. You give him a quarterback that's good. In an offense that wants to throw the ball a lot, look what happens. Yeah, I can't argue with you on that.
I need him to be so in a few leagues. So let's go.
So, Kacey, I think mine's Drake May. This kid is playing so freaking well. He's on bye this week. He's got the Patriots in the lead in the AFC. Playoffs start today. They get the first round bye. And it's beautiful. And I love it. And I love Drake May. This kid is going to be a stud for a very long time. This New England offense is heating up. It's getting very dangerous. Drake May is my quarterback one rest of season.
Like it. I like it so much. We saw him the other day on the sidelines, and my wife's like, he looks like such a baby. I know. We're going to get plenty of him for a while, so that's cool.
Oh, yeah. Look, just Drake May's what? He's 23?
Baby face. That's cute.
Dude, we probably have another 15 to 18 years of this kid being fantasy relevant.
Knock on wood,
Things,
guys. But yes, I'd love to
right?
see that.
If things hold.
Mhm.
Yeah, good offense, good coaching. He's QB number 3 overall. And in
delightful.
fantasy, he's the number 6 overall player in PPR.
Let's go.
So,
Let's go.
yep. If he's on your waiver wire, CBS would say that. I ain't gonna say it. All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for us today. I want to remind you to check out our Discord server. There's a lot of awesomeness going on over there. Link is in the show description. And just a quick reminder, we want you to check out our tools. Gift Optimus is the promo code. You can get the rest of the NFL season for free with our league manager and our betting and our DFS tools. Spend some of those playoff times getting everything right with your rosters, guys. You can use our league manager to propose trades and get yourself in position for next season in those dynasty leagues. Promo code is Gift Optimus. Real quick before we get out of here, we got one question from Tron Force. Needs 2 wide receivers and a flex from this group. Kacey, this is in PPR. Nico Collins, Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel. Who are you going with?
Oh man. Probably the first 3. Nico, Olave, and Smith. That's who I'd go with.
I'm the same. This Washington offense has no identity at all, which makes sense. You're missing Jaden Daniels. But yeah, I'm the same way. I'm going Nico Olave and Devontae Smith, Tron Force. Guys, and if you are listening to this after the fact, either on the audio version or you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you go to our Discord channel. We'll answer all of those questions for you in plenty of time to get you ready for week 14. The link is in the show description. Kacey, it's been a blast.
Been a blast.
Thanks.
Bye, Doug. Bye to my dad. He's leaving today, so I just wanted to say bye.
Yeah. We got Doug Dropping saying last day with Kacey.
Yeah, it's Doug. He's been here. This will be our 3rd Cowboys game to watch together, so
that's awesome.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, fun times. Safe travels back to Pennsylvania, Doug. I'm sure they're going to miss you dearly over here in Texas.
Yeah.
For Kacey Kasem, guys, I am Nate Polvogt. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for Friday Vibes. We'll also have the DFS show drop in tomorrow, so check that out on the channel. And then tune in for Lou and I on Sunday morning. Start sits right here at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. That's it for us, guys. We'll see you later.